land grant. And during the time he had this property, they had meetings down here in this area. Years later, in 1927, a group of teenagers were exploring the cave, and they found a lot of Native American artifacts in this room, including pottery, jewelry, and arrowheads. And also right up here on the ceiling, we have one of my favorite parts of the entire tour. Right up here, these are anthodites. Everybody say, ooh. Now, anthodites are one of the rarest cave formations in the world. They're only found in 8 caves worldwide, and we have the majority of them here at the Lost Sea. They get the name anthodite from the Greek word anthos, meaning cave flower, because as they grow, they look a lot like a flower growing on the ceiling. They have a growth rate of 1 cubic centimeter every 1,000 years, so they are very slow growing. And they are the reason we are a U.S. registered natural landmark. And then the ones right here are no longer growing though, you can tell because they're brown and gray coloration. But as you go through the cave here today, you'll see more of these here and there along the ceiling. It's more brown or gray. They're not growing, but if they have more of an orange or white coloration or a bit of sparkle to them, they are still actively growing. Just very, very, very slowly. As we continue through, you're going to pass through the slow area, so as you go through this, do watch your head. Ceiling's a bit low and a bit sharp. And just a reminder, as you go through places like this, especially, just make sure you don't touch the walls or the ceilings. We have active formations here, and if you touch them, that permanently damages them. So just watch your head as you walk through.
Don't let my tongue. Don't let my tongue. Can you let my tablet? I will sing that bucket and I will finish it.
Civil War. Confederate soldiers mined this area for saltpeter, and they used a leaching bag to do so. They would take the organic material from the ground, put it into the leaching bag. They would pour boiling water over it, and it would dissolve the nitrate in that organic material, creating a liquid known as mother's liquor. They would then add potash lye to that, some more, and create saltpeter crystals. They then sent those crystals off to refineries, and they were made into gunpowder for the war. Now that sounds like a lot of work. I'm glad we don't have to do that while we're down here. Also in the same area, just a few steps farther ahead on the other side of the trail, we're going to pass by a date on the wall. That date up here is 1863, and surprisingly, it is from 1863. Those same soldiers, while they were down here, used to burn into their torch like a pencil and wrote it there on the wall all those years ago. It's been carbon dated, and it's been authentic in some time. It still places us as a marker on the Civil War trail map. And as we walk through here and checking out the date on the wall, we also have some low rocks. First one's right here, next one's back there. So if you watch your head as you go through, and the date's kind of in between the low rocks right here on the left wall.
Hurry up.
That's the
cat chamber. The cat chamber is a 90-foot pit they found back in 1940. At the bottom of that pit, they found the remains of a Pleistocene cat. The cat measured 8 feet long with a tail and weighed about 500 pounds. Now, the remains were donated to the American Museum of Natural History in New York. We do have a cat's wings paw print, a bronze statue of what its head would look like. Let's look at our front lobby where you guys got your tickets earlier, so you can check those out until you get back to the surface. And also near National Entrance in 1947, they had the Tavern. The Tavern was a bar down here in Dayton. They had 3 dance floors, 3 queen-time stills, and live music. And they thought they had a great idea about the bar and cave, but they didn't come across one major issue. Due to the pressure and the humidity down here, people could drink well over their limit, and they wouldn't really feel the effects of the alcohol until they went to leave. And like I said, their exit was 132 stairs. Once they were down here, the pressure and the humidity was different than on the surface, so their body wouldn't metabolize the alcohol the same way, and they would process it a lot slower. But at the end of the night, they would start to climb the stairs out of here, and the higher they got on the stairs, the higher they got. Their body started to process that alcohol. A lot of people fell down the stairs. It was not good for business. The Tavern did close just a few months after it opened due to safety concerns and lack of business. And also in the late 1950s, this entire cave was used as a fallout shelter in case of a natural or national disaster. We had supplies down here to feed 20,000 people for up to 2 weeks. Luckily, there was no disaster, so we got rid of most of the supplies. We keep a little bit for ourselves, though. That's these boxes and barrels back here in the corner behind me, and they are still sealed. There is still food in there, but the food's from the 1950s. It is expired. We don't recommend getting a snack out of there. It's not going to taste good anymore. And the last thing we are going to cover in this room is total natural darkness. You guys got a bit of a sneak peek of it before when the lights went out. Well, you're going to be in the middle of it this time. So before I turn the lights out, if you guys want to go ahead and find a buddy, you can do that now. Or if you want to get away from anybody, you can do that too. If you have anything that lights up, you can just make sure that light is covered up or turned off. We don't want any light ruining the experience for everybody here today. And once the lights are out, just stay where you're at. Don't walk around or run around in the dark. I don't want anybody to fall and get hurt in here. All right. Is everybody ready? Yes. All right, or mostly yes. So I'm going to turn the lights out in 3, 2, 1. Nope. Not yet, at least. So right here on the side of the trail, we got this spooky red light. This right over here is the Devil's Hole. The Devil's Hole is a water erosion tunnel that goes at about 13 feet and then tapers off to the side of the softball. From there, we don't know where it goes. But there is a legend with Devil's Hole that says if you look down it and you've been good, you'll just see the rocks. But if you look down it and you've been bad, you'll see the face of the devil himself. So take a look if you dare. I don't dare, I'm waiting down here.
So deep down there.
So once you cut a peek in the Devil's Hole to decide your fate, you can check out the other side of the trail here. It is a lot less spooky. Over here we have the beginning of our baby Grand Canyon. Now the baby Grand Canyon was formed the same way the Grand Canyon formed. Water came in from the top and cut away the rock and created the canyon. Now the Grand Canyon is about a mile deep. Our baby Grand Canyon is about 10 to 12 feet deep. That's a lot smaller, but it's still grand. It's just baby grand. As you head down the hill here behind me, this is where it starts to get steep, so through here especially do watch your step. If you need help getting down the hill, we have this lovely metal handrail you can hold on to. It goes all the way down the hill. We also have the wooden one, but it's a little wiggly and it ends less than halfway down. After that, there's no handrail over there. You're on your own.
I don't. With a kid, no.
steep, so watch your step. And as you go through the canyon, make sure you do not touch the wall of the canyon. That'll cause it to crumble. And if it all crumbles away, we have no canyon, and that's no fun.
My favorite one of all is a pig chasing a milk carton. Please feel free to pick out any other stickers you guys might see. And there's going to be a group that's between us that's got food hanging out outside.
Another group. So we're just going to go down around the corner here. Make sure you don't get mixed up with them because they've already seen the lake. They're on their way out. If you go with them, you don't see the lake.
It's climbing up the wall.
I'll be a bed.
Spring room. We call this a spring room because we do have water flowing through farther down. You can probably hear it by now. That is Crystal Falls. It's the only visible water source we have to the lake. We're going to pass by it on the trail. We're also going to pass by an authentic Tennessee moonshine still from the Tavern. We moved down here so you can get a view of it as you head down towards the lake. But before we get on the trail here, I have to give you guys a warning. This next part of the wall is the worst part of the wall. It is steep, it is slick. It's the equivalent of going down and then back up a 7-story building. Now the walk down is optional, you don't have to go, but once you get down there, the walk up is mandatory. You do have to come back up. I can't leave you down there. I don't want to leave you down there. So if you have any kind of breathing problems, walking problems, heart problems, anything like that, and you don't think you make the walk down and then back up later, like I said, you don't have to. You can hang out at these lovely benches we just passed by on the trail right here. That's our first rest area. You have a nice quiet 25 or so minutes here, alone, in the dark, in the cave. But we will eventually come back for you. You won't be here alone forever. But if you do stay up here, you will miss seeing the lake, and you will miss the boat ride because the lake is at the bottom of the trail here. So if you stay up here, you can't quite see it from that distance. So you've been warned. If you want to stay up here, you can have a seat. We'll miss you while you're gone. We'll come back for you, I hope. If you head down this way, just remember it can be steep, it can be slick, so do watch your step as you head down the trail.
What village should I touch? That's Cottage Street.
Has some low rocks. So as you're walking through and you're watching your step, also watch your head. Good timing, right? All right, so the area we're in right here, this is the Ben Sands Tunnel. This is named after the 13-year-old boy, Ben Sands, who found the lake back in 1905. He was down here exploring the cave during the drought and found a small tunnel in this area. It was about 40 feet long and about the size of a bicycle tire around. And he did what most teenagers would do and crawled through it to see what was on the other side. Once he got to the other side, he found himself knee-deep in water. You can see how big the area of water was. As you get down here, guys, just kind of stay towards the right-hand side of the pier for me.
Okay, see ya, baby.
I got you. I was just answering questions.
Wait, what?
We're still getting used to it. We had to move our boat dock recently. Yeah.
And you're going to drive? Where's the fish? Where's the fish stand?
At least you didn't work that. Spin it this way.
I know.
Yes, you're right. That's the fish.
What was that, Dad? It's a bird in the water.
Brown Lake, and this is the largest room that we have access to down here. The lake room is 800 feet long, 220 feet wide, and from the surface of the water to the highest point of the ceiling, it gets about 65 feet tall. Now, the depth of the water in here ranges like a swimming pool, so the farther you get, the deeper it gets. Around the boat dock, the water is about 5 to 15 feet deep, and it gets deeper as you go until it gets up to 70 feet deep all the way at the back of the room. That is a lot deeper than a swimming pool, but it's the same concept. You could put a whole 6-story building in the back of the lake, and the top of the building wouldn't even reach the top of the water. That's kind of surface. Somebody will catch a fish while they're fishing. They'll call us, let us know they found our fish, then we know where the lake leads to. It's a pretty straightforward plan, but there was a big flaw in the plan. The fish liked it, they didn't want to leave. We have lights, we have no predators, and most importantly, we have food. And the fish, they're like people. Once you start feeding them, they're not going to leave, so they never found their way out. But since the fish never found a way out of here, we figured maybe people could. So all the way back in 1973, we had our first divers expedition here in the lake. They were to try to find an exit to the surface from here. They did not find one, but they did find an exit to the room. Along this wall over here, about 40 feet under this area, they found a tunnel that led out into some more tunnels and chambers. They explored as far as they could, which is about 800 feet before they ran out of lifeline. Now, while they were exploring, they estimated that area was twice the size of the room we're in here. So this room is about 4.5 acres, so that area over there was at least 9 acres. While they were exploring though, it did cause a pressure shift. They had some rocks start falling from the ceiling in those areas. They figured it's probably not a safe place to stay and explore and map out, so they ended up leaving before anybody could get stuck or injured down there. And from that exploration, we do know that is where the water flows out to from this room. So it doesn't go to the surface, it just goes farther underground and is still forming more of the cave system down beside us over here. More fish here and there around the boat. Just remember to keep your hands inside the boat because the fish can and will bite you. They don't discriminate. Anything in the water is food to them. They love snacks. We're going to go just a smidge farther back and I'm going to feed the fish for a second. Let them have a little lunch. Well, it's after lunch, but we'll still call it. But I'm going to hang out here for a second, toss some food out, let them have a snack. I'm going to toss some food over some of y'all's heads. If I hit you with a food pellet, it's part of the experience. So while we hang out with the fish, we also like to clear up some rumors you might have heard about these guys. Some fish are blind or albino or both. They're actually, in fact, neither. First of all, the fish are not blind. They only lose about 20% of their vision down here, and that's just due to the low light. And also due to the low light, they do lose about 70% of their color, so they're not albino either. These fish, they could probably use some glasses and a tan, but they don't know that. The fish down here, they also get to live quite a bit longer because they don't really have predators or anything to worry about down here. So since fish live longer down here, they get to get quite a bit bigger. So the largest fish on record down here was Trevor. Trevor was 16 pounds, 7 ounces, and about 30 inches long. And that is very, very big for a rainbow trout. And she did have a nice long life down here in the lake, but sadly she did pass. She's no longer down here with us. But she actually is still with us. She's in our front lobby. So if you guys saw a fish in a display case up there while you were getting your tickets or waiting to head in, that one's Trevor. She's pretty cool.
Why won't the fish bite us?
We recommend saying hi to her once you get back up there. She gets a little lonely.
Bite us? Dad, why won't the fish?
And also while we hang out back here, this is actually the spot where we need a little help from you guys. So the fish in here, they are less than a year old. They've been in here since, I believe, May. And there's about 400 of these guys. We can't pick out 400 names for the fish all on our own. So if you guys want to pick a fish and give it a name, you can do so now. You can say goodbye to your new friends. But they'll be hanging out here if you ever want to visit again.
I'm so
They
special.
don't go too far.
Summers. Who is going the boat? Are we going back? Another one. Oh, another fish. And that is flying round. That fish is not with me. That fish is playing by me. I don't know. I don't diamond.
Right here, we're about 140 feet underground. We have trouble visualizing that, the yellow tunnel at the beginning of the tour is 135 feet. So we're just over one yellow tunnel away from the surface. Alright, y'all, so on this side of the room here, we are passing underneath the site of our most recent rockfall. Don't let the word recent scare you though, this rockfall happened over 2,000 years ago, so it's been quite a while, but it was the most recent. But we know approximately when the rockfall was because of the formations here on the side we're going to pass by. This up here is more of that drapery or cave bacon like y'all saw back to the Cascades at the beginning of the tour. These down here, they've been isotope dated and proven to be about 2,000 years old. So they started forming right after the rocks fell from here.
More fish. Dad, more fish.
And also up this way, we're going to pass underneath. She drips about 39 times a minute. As you go underneath Bessie and her friends there, if you feel a drop water hit you, that is called a cave kiss, and it is good good luck. So maybe you'll have some good luck heading out of here. You might need it for the walk out. It's a pretty rough walk, what I've heard. And now from here, we're just gonna kind of take a nice leisurely stroll back over to the boat dock. I guess not really a stroll, more of a paddle, I guess. But we're just gonna hang out, enjoy the view, rest our legs before we go.
Where's the fish? That is. Where's the fish? Where's the fish at?
Hello, Angela.
Howdy. How y'all doing?
Doing pretty good. How's your door?
Pretty good so far. Haven't lost anybody yet, I don't think. Or if we did, no one's gonna go soon. Yeah. I mean, some people come in here trying to lose somebody. They won't tell me if they lose them. Right here. I want to tell you guys about something on the ceiling here that you might have seen earlier, or you might have seen in other places throughout the cave. But it's these white areas on the ceiling, kind of like right here and all through here. It is a bacteria that grows in the cave called moon's milk. So this was used by early people through the world as a way to use neosporin. They would put it on cuts and scrapes, mix it with a little bit of water, and it would help move it faster. Now we just kind of use neosporin.